Hey, welcome back to another Wellness Wednesday essential session. I'm Romelia, and today I'm going to cover information on how to love your liver. So, this is stemming from our 30-day cleanse and restore program. As I was looking into that and putting a plan together for my family, for you, I really found a lot of great information on our liver. So there was some things that I came across that I thought, wow, this would be really good information to share with others, because I know if it had me spiraling down into this research hole, it had to provide some value to somebody else. So today, what I'm going to cover is, what is the liver and what does it do? What is fatty liver disease in general? We're going to talk about some risk factors that put us into that path for having an unhealthy liver. We're going to look at some ways to love our liver. We're going to announce our daily drop challenge winners. If you were here maybe last week or a couple of weeks ago, we kicked off a 5-day challenge for just our community, and it was open to anybody who wanted to participate. And this is just a way to introduce essential oils into our everyday regimen of whatever it is that we do in our lives. I'm also going to provide you a link to download my favorite liver loving recipes. These are some that I've used many times before, and then a couple of new ones that have just recently been incorporated into our regimen. And then I'll give you a calendar of some upcoming sessions that you are welcome to join. Our information and our workshops, our education, they're open to anyone at any time. So feel free to jump on. You can join us live in Zoom or in our private online community. So let's get started. So here's a really great schematic of our liver. It's pretty simple. Our liver is the largest glandular organ of our body. It's second largest to the skin. So if you want to have a general idea of where our liver is located, it's just right below the right lung and underneath the rib cage. It does have lobes that it's divided into, a right and a left lobe. It weighs about 3 pounds, and that color there is kind of true to its natural occurring shades, because it is a reddish brownish color. And it sits there along underneath the liver. You have our gallbladder and our intestines, and all these three organs work together within our digestive tract. So it helps to digest our food or digest whatever we're taking into our system, absorb nutrients and even toxins, as well as process our food. So whenever blood leaves the intestines, it goes and dumps itself into the liver. And its main job for that blood is to process it in a way. It filters it before it sends it out to the rest of the body. A really fascinating thing about our liver is that it has the ability to regenerate itself. So that's what makes liver transplants possible, is that if you were to, remove a portion of the liver, if you are a healthy person with a healthy liver, your liver can pretty much regenerate that piece that was removed. So yay for that. Yay for modern medicine, right? So that's just a very quick overview of what our liver is. And here are some of the functions that it does. I mean, there's over 200 jobs that our liver does. And along with, like I mentioned earlier, along with processing those nutrients and everything that comes into our system, it also processes a lot of toxins. And so we could end up with something that's called a fatty liver disease. So about 10% of our liver is already made up of fat, and it's not a bad thing. It's just part of the composition of the liver. It's whenever we have more than 10% of our liver composition made up of fat that we can have a fatty liver. So it is a condition that builds up in our liver, and there are two main types, as you can see there. We have a non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and we also have an alcoholic fatty liver disease. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about these two in just a little bit more detail for you. So you can see there on this slide that you can see a representation of a healthy liver tissue. And if you notice with an unhealthy liver, it's already changing in color because maybe it's got some scarring, and it definitely looks like it has some additional fats deposited there. And you can see the fat cells really, taking over the composition of the tissue. That's when we're having some issues, because it gets in the way of the liver working properly and optimally. So non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, this is a disease that is not related to alcohol use. So I'm going to talk about that one here in just a bit. So this one, simple fatty liver disease, as well as the non-alcoholic sorry, that's a big word. And I even broke it down for me with the phonetics. Steatohepatitis. All right. So we'll just call it NASH for the sake of it being easy for myself. You got to have a sense of humor, and you got to be able to laugh at yourself. So these two kinds of fatty liver disease, this first one, the simple fatty one, just this in general, it is the most common type of chronic liver disease in the United States. And it's because we have, our population, 1/4 of our population is affected by this. And some of the rates of our obesity, type 2 diabetes, and even high cholesterol, those rates continue to rise in the United States. And as those things rise, so does the rate of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So it's very common, more common than what we would want it to be. But just to bring attention to it is my intention today. So like I mentioned before, you already have fat in your liver. And this could be, that healthy percent, because it's a healthy composition of our liver. There isn't any inflammation there. There isn't any liver cell damage. So it's just simply that you're at a point that if you don't change certain behaviors, it can get really complicated for you. So even though you may have been diagnosed with this, there's still some things that we can do, and we're going to talk about it. So what causes fatty liver disease? We have things like a lot of refined sugar and eating excess calories, especially those that are from fat. And when our body processes that, when our liver processes that, it doesn't break it down as well as it should when we're having a higher concentration of that fat being deposited into our liver. So this starts to accumulate, and too much fat will start to accumulate. And that tends to lead us to that fatty liver level that we should avoid. So that in itself, the fat, even if it's just the simple fatty liver, this can lead to other complications. So we're looking at definitely increasing our chances of being obese, increasing our chances of having diabetes, and even high triglycerides, high cholesterol. But it's really interesting that this isn't always the case. Some people can have be at that line where they do have a fatty liver disease and never have any symptoms and never have any issues. It is just what it is. So NASH can develop with some people that do have, that do start out with simple fatty liver. And this is a more aggressive form of fatty liver disease. And this is where it can lead to inflammation and some cellular damage. The more fat that accumulates in our liver, the less optimal our liver can process, things that are coming in. Remember, its number one job is to filter the blood. And if it's not able to do that, effectively and efficiently, all that stuff is just going to get thrown back out into our circulatory system. So it's going to get deposited somewhere else, or it's going to stay put in the liver. So it's really important to understand that process. So NASH, like I mentioned before, is potentially serious. If it's not something that's addressed, and we don't change our habits, and we don't seek the assistance of our professional healthcare providers, this can really lead to some serious issues like scarring and cirrhosis. And that kind of shows you the progression there. But you'll notice that once it's reversible, you can see the double headed arrows in that slide there. And it just tells you that, yeah, you have a high percentage of fat in your liver, but you're still at a point where you can reverse that damage or stop that damage from continuing. And it really is based on our lifestyle choices. But you get to a point where you have more than 50% of your liver composition being fat. And that's when we run into some issues, because what happens after that is we start getting some scarring on the liver. And, you have, more scarring that's showing up, 2 to 5% scarring a year. This is going to lead to cirrhosis. And cirrhosis is a completely, you have scarring that's irreversible. So you want to identify some things that you may be doing already that's going to lead you down this progression, so that you can change them and give your liver a chance to heal itself, regenerate itself, so that you don't end up in a situation where you can't reverse that. So the other type of fatty liver disease is alcoholic fatty liver disease. Now this one is related to heavy alcohol use. So your liver does break down most of the alcohol you drink so that your body can remove it and remove those substances and toxins out of your system. But the process of breaking it down can result in some harmful substances that accumulate in the body. And these are the ones that end up damaging your liver cell. They also increase your inflammation. It weakens your body's own natural defenses. So the more that you drink, the more that you can damage your liver. Now, I'm not saying that you can't have a drink. That is entirely up to you and your doctor to determine what is a safe amount for you and for your health journey. This is pointing out how this is something that we're bombarding our liver with every single day in excessive amounts. So the alcoholic fatty liver disease is the earliest stage of alcohol-related liver disease, because after that you end up, it's no longer a fatty liver because that tissue is scarring, it's becoming hard, you're seeing some fibrosis in there, so you can end up with something like hepatitis and cirrhosis of the liver. And in some really other instances, very extreme instances, you can end up with cancer of the liver. So it does happen to people who are heavy drinkers, especially for those that have been drinking for a really long period of time. The risk is higher for heavy drinkers who are women, or those who are obese, or if you have any kind of genetic markers that make you more susceptible to it. So about 20% of alcoholics and heavy drinkers develop fatty liver. And in many cases, there really aren't any clinical symptoms for it except for an enlarged liver. That's why it's really important to have a great relationship with your professional healthcare provider so that you can have these conversations. And if it's something that you're concerned about, see your doctor. Let them know your concerns, and then be honest, when they're asking you questions of how many drinks do you have a week? Because I see that question even at the dentist office, whenever we've gone in for cleanings or some, procedures or whatever. It's there. It's in all of the forms. It's asking you these questions. And identifying those can really help you determine whether or not you're going to be at risk. So I mentioned that obesity is one of those risk factors. And about 70% of obese people do have fatty liver disease, while only 10 to 15% of people with healthy body mass have a fatty liver. So some other things to look at could be if you have high levels of fat in your blood, if you have high cholesterol, high triglycerides, if you have type 2 diabetes, or maybe your pre-diabetes. Those are some risk factors for fatty liver disease as well. Another one that was really interesting to me, and what led me further into, doing my own personal research on this, was that Hispanics are an at-risk group for fatty liver disease. And, they're followed by non-Hispanics, and then African Americans have it's even less common for African Americans. So that really, sparked my attention and made me stop and think about what we're doing here in our home, but also just in general, how this is something that, all people like me need to know about, right? We need to know that this is a risk factor for us. Another, if you have high blood pressure, that's a risk factor. If you've been exposed to some toxins, whether they're toxins at work or chemicals that you've been using in your home, any kind of metabolic syndromes that you may have, and maybe even taking prescription drugs. Because I'm not saying that you can't take them. I'm saying that, remember, everything that enters our body has to be processed, and it's eventually going to go by the liver to be processed and eliminated. So the more that we're putting into our system, the more work that our liver is doing. This is why a lot of prescription medications require you to have those follow-ups with your doctor and get your blood checked on a regular basis, because that is a possibility. And I know that many of you who are on prescribed medications have had this conversation with your providers already. And if you have not, you definitely need to initiate that conversation. So there's a place for everything to take care of our body, and sometimes we need to go that route. And that's perfectly fine. You do what you need to do, what is best for you. But make sure that you're aware that there are some prescription medications out there that can do damage to your liver. Have that conversation with your doctor. So, some symptoms. Now, I said earlier that not very many symptoms exist for fatty liver disease. Some people may have it and not even have a clue that they do have it. But these are symptoms that you have something going on in your liver that's been going on for some time, or maybe you've been doing a certain behavior or activity that's causing this. So anytime you have abdominal pain that's like not really going away, you have this feeling of fullness, maybe even some bloating on that right side of the abdomen where your liver would be located. Nausea is also a symptom, maybe loss of appetite or even weight loss. So jaundice, definitely whenever you see any kind of yellowing of the skin or the whites of the eye, that is definitely an indication that you have something going on with your liver, and you should seek some medical attention with that. You're also looking at edema, whether it's a swollen abdomen or in your legs. That's just indicating that there's some circulatory issues going on. You're extremely tired. You're mentally confused. This is an indication that your liver is not functioning as well as it should. You're not getting the cellular energy that you need to continue functioning on a daily basis. Weakness, even in large blood vessels that you can see underneath your skin, and red palms. Now, these are like severe symptoms, and if you have any of these, chances are you already know that you have some kind of issue with your liver, some kind of health issue with your liver. So if you're not, if you're not aware of that, and you have experienced these for not just because you ate some bad tacos or some bad seafood the night before, I'm talking about these are chronic symptoms, things that you feel on a daily basis or more than 3-4 times a week. That indicates that there's some kind of disruption in your digestive system, and it can definitely point to your liver. So please seek medical attention if you have questions about that or you have any concerns. I am not a medical care provider. I am someone who is interested in taking care of my health and my family's health. And whenever I come across something that is just really intriguing, or I feel like it's really important for me to share, that's when you'll see me talk about it. My area of genius falls with this part right here that I'm going to show you. So I love how easy it is to take care of our health. It really is. It is decision based, and we have control of that every single day. And following something as easy as this, these tips to reduce our levels of toxicity or levels of fats in our circulating through our blood, we can do something about that. We can definitely do something about most of our of that fatty liver disease. If it's really early on, you're just getting diagnosed, there hasn't been any severe or drastic intervention for that, you can reverse some of that. That's the beauty of our liver, because it can regenerate and heal itself. So this wellness lifestyle is a great way to reduce your risk of fatty liver disease or any kind of ailment. And you'll see that the foundation just starts with eating right. Food is our medicine. And you should really look at what you're taking into your system. A healthy diet includes some dark leafy greens, root vegetables, beets. Beets and carrots are really great to include into your diet. Beets have this protective oxidative, it protects against oxidative damage in the liver, and carrots can improve kidney function. There's a lot of research to support the way that these particular foods support our body, specifically our liver. You want to look for those cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower. Those things have just been shown time and time again to have a lot of antioxidant support for our bodies. Look for some sprouts and microgreens. These have high concentrations of nutrients that are very beneficial for our bodies. You want to avoid things like high fructose corn syrup. That is a very highly processed sweetener that's derived from cornstarch. So the cornstarch is converted into a syrup, and then it's treated with enzymes to convert it to a form of glucose, converts glucose into fructose. But this is a really major contributor. High fructose corn syrup is a major contributor to adult onset diabetes. You want to avoid processed granulated white sugar as much as possible, also known as our table sugar or sucrose. It comes from sugarcane, and sugarcane is something that grows from the ground, but the end product after it's processed is 40 times more concentrated than the original sugarcane. So look for things like maybe turbinado sugar is a great substitute, or jaggery is a great substitute, or even sweeteners made from fruit that are not highly processed and made into a very thick, rich syrup. You want to avoid those. So you also want to stay away from foods that are cooked in aluminum. Now, aluminum is something that is aluminum foil is very easy for us to use whenever we're grilling or throwing something into the oven. But there's research that supports that cooking food in aluminum foil tends to have some of that heavy metal aluminum leach into our foods. So you want to avoid that as well, because that can be really hard on the liver and just your body in general. So avoid could also mean limit the amount that you take. I am not one to support a diet of deprivation. I don't work that way. I just want to find something fresh, find something delicious, find something healthy. And you can do that with just about anything. Just avoid the things that could harm us and limit our intake of them. So some natural support for your liver if you're not getting, all the nutrients that you need from our food. Our food in general is just greatly processed. So even, an apple that we have today doesn't have the same nutrient content that it did when our parents were eating apples. It's just the way of the world these days, I guess, just a lot of change in the way that our food has been grown and a lot of change in our environment. So some natural support that you can consider is our Lifelong Vitality Pack. This is rich in antioxidants. It has minerals and vitamins. About 22 vitamins are in there, and it provides amazing cellular support. It's easy on the system. There isn't anything there that's a filler, and it's bioavailable, so our bodies recognizes it and uses it and is able to absorb those nutrients. We also have a doTERRA nutrition line that I absolutely love. The greens are my absolute favorite. They're delicious because not everybody likes to eat spinach or include a kale salad as part of their dinner. You know, we need those greens. And this nutritional line has a wonderful bag of just greens, and that's what it's called, Doterra Greens, and it's my favorite. It's just so delicious. It tastes so good. It's flavored by fruit, and it has all of those great nutrients that our bodies need. Fiber is so important for our digestive system overall. It helps to remove a lot of that fatty stuff that's hanging around in our gut. And then we have a Zendocrine detoxification blend that is really fantastic support for your liver. It doesn't go in and do anything drastic. It just helps the liver. It supports the liver in a way that it allows the liver to do its job a little bit more efficiently, a little bit more effectively, especially when we're getting to that point that we've really done some, we've done some harm to our liver. This is a great way to start to kind of getting ourselves back on track. Also listed that under there is Terrazyme, which are some digestive enzymes, gets our food, into a place that there are smaller particles that our bodies can absorb. Our digestive system can absorb, and then PB assists for a healthy gut. So the next part to look at things that you can control is exercise. So there are tons of research that shows that physical inactivity is related to the severity of fatty liver disease, irrespective of body weight. So if you're not moving your body, there's a probability that you may have, some underlying health conditions that you may not be aware of. You could feel sluggish, but if we're not moving our bodies, we're going to feel sluggish, right? But there's a direct correlation to those two. And aerobic exercise can actually cut the amount of fat in your liver. So you want to look at doing 30 to 60 minutes of mid-level, high-level aerobics. It doesn't have to be high impact. It just has to really get your heart level elevated. And you want to do that at least 5 times a week, especially if you know already from a conversation that you've had with your doctor that you are one of the quarter of our population that has fatty liver disease. You also want to do some strength training. Strength training, like weightlifting, can definitely improve your fatty liver disease. It helps to reduce the inflammation, and it also helps to, just increase your metabolism to a point that it's a little bit more effective, so that sluggishness can, dissipate for you. Things that you can use to support exercise, because if you've been sitting around for a while and you're getting up and starting to move, you're going to feel some aches and some pains, a little bit of discomfort, or maybe you're just not even motivated to go out and move your body. We have a wonderful soothing blend line, Deep Blue, that provides excellent pain support. It has some anti-inflammatory properties as well. And you have internal and topical application options. So this is definitely something to consider. It provides quick relief when you're using it topically. It is something that we have been using for years here in my home to help us all move, to continue moving. And Mito 2 Max is our energy and stamina complex. This helps to support cellular energy production. It helps to support a healthy mitochondria. So you're getting that motivation. You're getting that energy that you need to get your body moving. But it's not a stimulant. It's not caffeine, and it's not really going to overtax your liver and processing it. And that's what happens with all these caffeinated energy drinks to get you motivated to go and run a mile or go and lift your weights. Stay away from those. Those do more damage to your liver than you can possibly imagine. And if you're drinking 2-3 of those a day, baby, go get yourself checked out. Go talk to your doctor. Make sure that you're at a point where you can, take care of your liver to reverse whatever damage you may have done. Stop. Just stop. Drink some water instead. Turmeric dual chambers. These are wonderful to reduce that oxidative stress that our cells naturally go through. But if we have some underlying issues, there tends to be more of that. We tend to have more free radicals from our metabolic pathways. So these really help to support our metabolism in that way, but it also helps to support our joint and our tissues. So if there's any kind of inflammation, again with maybe some discomfort, these dual chambers, they're wonderful support for those. Another way that you can reduce your risk of fatty liver disease is rest and stress management. So stress, it's just bad on our body overall. Chronic stress is anyway, and but stress in general, can lead us to some unhealthy behaviors that include increasing our alcohol intake. Maybe we're increasing or starting to use tobacco to counteract that feeling of stress. And maybe we're reaching more for fatty, high carbohydrate foods, high sugar foods, and our diet is suffering, and all of these things can lead to fatty livers. So manage your stress to kind of keep you from heading down that spiral. And exercise. Make sure you find a way to exercise. Every day, go take a walk. Meditation has been shown to have some excellent outcomes for managing stress. Look for some relaxation techniques, maybe do some journaling. If you're feeling overwhelmed because there's too much on your plate, look at some time management skills, or, really limit what you take on. You don't want to stress yourself out that way. You can also use aromatherapy, diffuse some oils to help you relax, put some essential oils. I only recommend doTERRA essential oils, and you can put some of those in your teas to help you further relax. So managing your stress and getting enough rest are great ways to reduce your risk. Some of the things that we are loving are Serenity Restful Blend. There's an oil that you can use topically or you can diffuse. And this oil is a blend of some wonderful essential oils that have a lot of calming and relaxing benefits. Lavender flowers, cedarwood, ylang ylang is in there, including Roman chamomile, and vetiver. All of these things are very grounding. All of these oils are very grounding. And we also have a formulation of it, Restful Complex, that you can take internally. So this too has essential oils in there. You have the benefits of lavender in there, but you also have L-theanine, along with some lemon balm and passion flower that really help to support and further get you to that relaxation state. It's really natural, and it's safe in helping to reduce tension. It helps to get you to that place. My kids use this, and it really does help to get them to that place of rest. We also have our adaptive system, and this was clinically designed to help reduce stress, and it gives you that sense of empowerment that you can take on something new, especially when it could be a new project at work, it can be a new schedule that you're undertaking, or it could even be a new exercise regimen that you're undertaking. It's going to help you with that transition. This has botanicals and essential oils that help to manage the effects of stress. So if you are one that you've had those stressful situations, you can feel it on your body. Once you've passed that situation, you can feel it in your body. And the capsules are a great complement to the oils, in that it does help you with that physical aspect of stress. We also have this beautiful little yoga collection here. So for those times that you're journaling or you are meditating, trying to find some peace, those 3 oils in there have a lot of great support to help steady and center you. Use it if you're having a really tough time too. It doesn't necessarily have to be for any type of meditation or journaling or deep breathing. You can use this anytime during the day whenever you're feeling overwhelmed. And that's the beauty of all of our essential oils. You find one that works for you, right? There's so many different options. I'm happy to help you navigate through all that, but there's so many different options, and you just find something that works for you. Another way to reduce your risk is to limit your toxic load, your exposure to toxins. Our toxic load is just that accumulation of toxins in our body. It's going to happen regardless of what we're doing. We're going to be exposed to them. There are some ways that we can, have control of what we encounter, our environments and what we put on our body. But it's important to reduce our internal toxic load because we want to protect those processes that are responsible for eliminating these toxins out of our body. So don't tax them, limit your exposure. Watch what you're putting onto your body. Watch what you're putting into the air in your home. Go for a more natural product when you're talking about personal care or when you're looking at taking care of your home. We have a myriad of personal care products so that you can find something that you like and enjoy, and you don't have to worry about fake fragrances in there and what they could be doing to your hormones and to your liver. We also have an abode line that is just wonderful. It's a non-toxic way of taking care of your home, and it has essential oils in there as well, so that you get those added health benefits going into your air, your indoor air. So there's different ways that you can do that. You could even make your own stuff, your own DIY products if that's what you're into. But choose your products carefully, because even though you think just that you're spraying something into the air, it still has to go into your body, right? You're still breathing it in. You're still going to have to process that. So keep that in mind. Another way is informed self-care. So this really deals with the way that we take care of our body when it's not working the best, right? I'm definitely not encouraging you to stop everything that you're doing and go into this whole natural thing and stop medications. That is not the intention here. The intention is to bring awareness that most of the products, most of the prescriptions that are given to us by our doctors really are to treat the symptoms. And if you've ever suffered any side effects from them, I speak from experience for myself and for my family. You're just given another pill to counteract that side effect, and then so on and so on. And you're taking 3 or 4 different things for one ailment. That happens. And so it's because they're treating the symptoms. It's not so much that you're looking at the root causes. And that's where this way of taking care of our bodies, this natural way of approach to take care of our bodies, is that we're looking at the root cause of whatever is not working well in your body and targeting the root cause. So our essential oils are natural. They are from the earth, and you should consider them as either a complement to what you're doing already, or talk with your doctor to see if it's something that you can take instead. There are many over-the-counter medications and prescriptions that can cause toxic liver disease. Definitely something like acetaminophen or non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, anything like that. If you take too much of them or you're taking them with alcohol, it's going to really hurt your liver. And then again, just be aware of what you're taking into your body. If you have any concerns, again, I'm going to direct you back to your doctor to talk about those things. So natural support for our informed self-care. Again, we have tons of essential oils that have antifungal, analgesic, antibacterial properties, right? All these chemical components that are in our oils have a lot of health benefits for us. So it's just really looking at what is it that we want to work on? What kind of support do we need the most? And then we start looking at essential oils that can help. If our oils have supplement facts on them, that means you can take them internally. And it's the best way to support cellular health. I have Doterra Breathe listed here because this was and still is one of the most important line of products for my family. And this really set us on that whole transition to this natural lifestyle. And we couldn't get to where we are today if it wasn't for that line. And then, we also have wellness programs. So every month there's a select group of products that are put together in a nice, easy little package for you to focus on its targeted health, targeted wellness. So if you're looking for relief, maybe that exercising that you started doing, or maybe you just have some ongoing issues with that, we have a relief wellness kit. We have one for immunity if you want to really look at supporting your immune health, sleep, respiratory, mind and mood for that stress and relaxation that we talked about earlier, and definitely digestive, that is going to give you some awesome support for your liver health. So there's just different ways that you can support your body. There used to be this thing, and you've probably heard it before, that you can take care of 80% of your health needs with oils in a book. And this is my first go-to. I always go back to my reference books. I always go back to my research whenever something comes up that we need to deal with at home. But I also know that there are some things that we can't take care of, and that's why we have the health and the help and the conversations with our primary care providers. So 80% is a lot. It's a lot that you can do with oils in a book. So one of my favorite quotes as I was doing my research is from Dr. Mark Hyman. It's more important to understand the imbalances in your body's basic systems and restore balance rather than name the disease and match the pill to the ill. Because when all is said and done, how our bodies work and do what they are designed to do comes down to how we take care of them on a daily basis. We can make small intentional choices every single day about our food, about our movement, and even how we relax at the end of the day that can have a huge impact on our health. So if you think you are one of the millions of people that could be suffering from fatty liver disease, work with your professional healthcare provider to come up with a plan to treat you and even reverse the damage that has been done to your liver. And if you're interested and looking at a way to take control of your health naturally with essential oils and with our natural products, if you're not a member already, and if you're not working with another wellness advocate, let's set up a time to chat to see what that looks like for you. I offer a free 30-minute consultation, and we just really talk about what's going on with you and helping you identify some areas that can be supported naturally. And it could really set you up for a path to optimal health and wellness, because it's not just about the physical body. What I do really encompasses all those pieces of wellness. All right, so some resources and tools for you. I have put together a Love Your Liver guide. So this has in it a little bit more information too about, food in general as medicine. But there's also some recipes in there that I had mentioned before that, I've used and still use and love, and it's become part of our menu planning, and it's been part of our menu planning for years. And just some of the recipes that I have really, really loved. And there's some new ones in there that I'm just trying, and I absolutely loved them, and I found so many benefits from it. So it's a little guide for you. You're welcome to screenshot this and go over to our website to download your free guide. And I also did another blog post, a little bit more information about liver and liver health, loving your liver, and you can catch that on our website as well. So our daily drop challenge winners. So a couple of weeks ago, I think that's when it was, we had our daily drop challenge, and this is a way to introduce essential oils into everyday living. And we had some people partake, and part of it was if you're receiving texts or whatever, you're going to send pictures of some of the things that you were doing with your oils, or you were going to comment in our Facebook group for them. So, pardon me, I want to congratulate Angela, who has won our keychain, one of the doTERRA keychains. Julie is taking home our DIY kit to keep her going down that natural path. And then Ala is getting a copy of Advanced Oil Magic. This is by far my favorite protocol book. There are tons out there, but this one I really, really love because it's pretty comprehensive and it puts protocols together and I can follow them very easily. So congratulations, ladies. Thank you so much for putting oils into your life and sharing your experiences with me. I love seeing your pictures. I loved reading your comments. I loved getting the, wow, I didn't know how wonderful this was. So thank you for sharing those. It really makes me, just makes my heart happy that you guys got a lot out of it. Thank you so much for doing it. We'll have our next challenge coming up in a couple of weeks and a smoothie challenge. So keep your eye out for that. And some other things to keep a watch on is this Wednesday, March 9th, we're going to have our next Wellness Wednesday session. So these are every Wednesday, by the way, every Wednesday at noon, live in our Facebook, noon Mountain Time, live in our Facebook group, our private Facebook group, or you can jump on Zoom and join us live and engage in the conversation, ask some questions and such. So March 9th, intermittent fasting. So one of our partners, Susan Velasquez, will be facilitating that for us. And this is a really neat topic. I remember, I think it's been over a year that I was first introduced to this whole concept. And it is really, it's got some great benefits. I think you're going to enjoy this presentation, so make sure that you're here on Wednesday. Down the road, we have some oils going with us on the road. We'll be traveling, and I'm going to just let you in on how I'm preparing to hit the road with my oils and my products. I cannot go anywhere without my Lifelong Vitality. There's that 5-day smoothie challenge I mentioned. And then we have one of our partners doing a presentation on color energy intuitive healing. So if you guys are not familiar with this modality of healing our bodies, you definitely need to tap into this one. I'm really looking forward to it myself. So how do you stay connected with us? Again, we have a private Facebook group. You can find me on Instagram. We do have a website. There's a newsletter that we release every week, so you're welcome to sign up for that. And then here, where you're seeing this probably in YouTube, it's our new YouTube channel. So I'm excited to bring these options to you on how to stay connected with us. And if ever you have any questions or you want some more information, know that you can reach out to me. This is the way, email is a great way to stay connected with me. You can send me your questions. You can schedule a wellness consult through there too, a free wellness consult. Just, whatever questions you may have regarding a healthy lifestyle, essential oils, whatever, reach out to me. I'm open to it. And yes, leaving you with some parting words. Health is an investment, not an expense. So keep that in mind. And I hope that this has been helpful to you. If you find some value in it, I invite you to share it with others who it could also, benefit. And we'll see you next time. Peace.